like maybe that's the case. Like I it's just the idea of like what is the thing that you are providing that is valuable, and then think, can AI actually provide this thing with the same level of value? And start to one, like, say, hey, is this business even like viable as a business, right? Are we going to make enough money selling these things? Can we set up an operation efficiently enough to where the margins make sense? And I think a lot of businesses will collapse in that way. And so now you're starting to think, okay, every business has like sales, marketing, they got operations, they have customer success, they have finance and accounting, and they got legal. And in each of those verticals, you're like, man, AI can do like 90% of that in sales, 99% of that in marketing, 99.9% of that in accounting. And like every single vertical is starting to get just chipped away. And then you're like, what's left? Well, I tell you, like from personal experience, I can use Claude all day to do all of those things in all those variety of verticals. But, you know, somebody who's really good at PR, positioning, and writing, how should we position ourselves in the market and whatever, an expert in that way, working with them is way more valuable than me trying to work with Claude, right? Because I don't have that expertise in the way that they do. And so something I've actually been thinking about recently is we talk to consultants and we hire consultants because we don't know certain things, right? We don't know, what's the best way to position ourselves in the market, what's the best way to, run an engineering team, or what's the best way to set up CI/CD pipelines, whatever, right? Like people who have expertise. The reality is like they, as a consultant, will work with us, talk with us about our problem set, whatever, and then they want to have us on. They want to, get on retainer with us so they can actually execute the work. The reality is we're thinking the whole time we could actually just build a bunch of agents to like do the stuff that they're telling. The real value is like having these meetings with them, having them come in, understand the problem, having them like, I can say something in a certain way, but they can read between the lines, they can read the body language, and they can pull out like the real truth of it. And then once we have that documentation, that spec, like that knowledge is like written down and codified, then we can build the systems to go and execute the work. So I think that there's just going to be a lot of value on that upfront, defining, because we just don't have the expertise to do all of the certain things. And then Claude is like Claude, it's like, how do I know if something's good versus something's bad? Like, I don't have the expertise to be able to validate and judge, right? Like, so I can work with Claude all day, but like my output's just still not going to be all that great. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, managing agents and managing people is a very different skill set.
exactly.
Um,
Yeah.
and I'm glad that you touched on like the subject matter expertise thing. You could build a system that you could, for example, train it on 500 hours of Alex Hormozy speaking, but
Mm-hmm.
you don't have Alex Hormozy in that AI still. As you can
Right.
get closer, but you don't. But